Okay, folks, we are back. So it's time for our lesson to conclude lessons 36 through 40. And then after that, we can finally move on to lessons that don't involve prefixes for verbs of motion, which will definitely be a good thing because you're probably tired of them, and I know I definitely am. So let's go ahead and go through this. So first, not question, but first item is Андрей здесь больше не живет, он something на другую квартиру. So Andre here not more lives, so Andre doesn't live here anymore. He's something to another apartment. And when you move, you use the prefix pere. So pere is used for structural changes, such as moving to a new residence, or crossing the street or stuff like that. Okay, basically it means switching over to something different. Okay, next one. Мы something 3 станции метро и вышли. So, I guess it means they traveled 3 metro stations and then got out. So the prefix here for this kind of thing is pro. Pro means basically here it's used to indicate how far you went. If you проехали 3 станции, that means you drove along. You drove along that distance. So they drove for that distance and then, or they rode. I guess they rode the metro for 3 stations, then got out. So pro is used to indicate how far you went in this case. Извините, как something к театру? So here again we use pro. I must admit it's not as clear to me why we use pro here, because usually pro means to go through something or past something. But here I don't think they're saying how do I go past the theater, but how do I get to the theater. So it seems to me that there should be a different verb used here, but unless I'm mistaken, I believe the word here is in fact pro. The word that they expect you to use here is проехать. Don't ask me why. Anyway, number 4. Здесь нельзя something улицу, это запрещение. So here it is forbidden to do something with the street. Нельзя and запрещение are basically the same thing. They both mean it's prohibited, verboten. So I'm going to assume here they mean cross the street. So переходить, again, пере means to change over to something else. So here переходить the street means to cross the street. So здесь нельзя переходить улицу. Here it is forbidden to cross the street. Okay, нам надо something еще 2 километра. So again here the prefix pro is used to indicate how far you're going or how far you went. So if you go along for 2 kilometers, then you'd use pro, but that doesn't help us much because actually 3 of the words here use pro. Let's see, what's the right one here? Пройти. I believe these other 2 are imperfective, but the point is that they're saying we need to finish going these 2 kilometers. So here it's пройти, walk along for another 2 kilometers. Okay, Елена попросила отца something к ней в гости на выходные. It's a bit of a longer sentence there, but basically, so Елена попросила, asked отца, father, meaning her father. She asked her father something к ней, to her, as a guest on the weekend. So she wanted the father to come to her. And so when you arrive somewhere, the prefix is pri. Pri means basically to arrive at the end of a trip. The question is, did the father walk or drive? I'm going to assume that the father probably drove to where she is, and so and he did it once. I'm going to guess that приехать is for that reason. So basically like the single directional verb of motion for driving using wheeled transit. So he drove to her once, and so it would be приехать. So Елена asked her father to drive to her as a guest on the weekend. Уважаемые пассажиры, наш самолет something над морем. So, dear passengers, our airplane does something over the sea or over the ocean. So I'm going to assume I really hope that they're not saying our plane is about to crash into the sea, so let's go ahead and assume that they're saying our plane is flying by the sea. Again, the verb or the prefix here is pro. Pro means to go by something or to pass by something. So is it proletal or proletayat? Well, proletal would be past tense. That means it flew past the sea. But I'm going to assume they're saying this to bring people's attention to the sight outside the window. So present tense makes more sense, and therefore proletayat. Корабль уже something под мостом и вышел в море. So the ship already did something under the bridge and left to the sea. So again, pro is once again the same prefix. It's used for walking, driving, flying, as we saw here with the airplane, and also for swimming or sailing. So in this case, it's the same prefix, just here for sailing. So it's proyechal would be wheeled transit, but obviously the kорабль, the ship or the boat, doesn't have wheels, so it's proplil, the ship proplil. So the ship already sailed under the bridge and exited out to the sea or to the ocean. Okay, good. What's next? С понедельника мы something на новый режим работы. Okay. So, с понедельника, literally with Monday, but here it means on Monday or beginning on Monday, as of Monday. Мы something onto the new Режим работы. Режим работы literally means work regime, but it means working hours. So basically it means on Monday we're changing over to a new set of working hours or opening hours. So again, this is a structural change, so it's a change over to something else, so it's пере. We перейдем to the new working hours. It's easy here because it's the only verb in the list that has пере at the beginning. Okay, мы something весь город за 2 дня. We something the entire city in 2 days. Well, a logical thing to do with the city in 2 days is walk around it. And the only prefix here that fits is obo. So obo means to go around something. In the lesson where we saw this was typically used to mean to go around the whole world, like astronauts going around the whole world in a spaceship, but you can also mean it to go around the city. So here we обошли весь город, we walked around the whole city. За 2 дня, in 2 days. Okay, number 11, мы something в магазин за хлебом. Aha, here we need to remember the prefix za. So za is used to mean to stop in somewhere, typically like to stop in at the store for, in this case, bread. So мы зашли в магазин за хлебом. We stopped in at the store quickly for bread. После работы друзья something ненадолго в бар и выпили пиво. So after work, friends something ненадолго for not for a long period of time, like just for a short period of time. В бар, into the bar, и выпили пиво, and drank beer. So what did they do? They, I think again here would use za, because it says ненадолго, so they didn't stay at the bar for very long. So again, you could say they stopped in at the bar for a quick bit of beer before doing something else. So зашли, they quickly stopped in at the bar for a drink. Okay, number 13, космонавты могут something всю Землю на ракете. Okay, here, once again, as I said, the typical examples that we saw in the lessons were astronauts, космонавты. Облететь, they flew around something. Again, об means to go around something. Here it means, in this case, they went around всю Землю, the entire Earth, на ракете, in a rocket. Okay, 14. Если мы не можем приехать прямо, нам нужен. Again, here we use об. It says if we cannot drive straight, we need to around drive. Kind of Basically, if you know German, it's kind of the same as in German, umfahren, to go, to around drive something. So here, obvious, we need to go around because we can't go straight. Okay, 15. Граждане отдыхающие, не something за буйки. Граждане means citizens, and отдыхающие means like vacationers. So it's a very formal announcement saying something like citizen vacationers. Не something за буйки, do not something behind the buoys. Buoy is, like a buoy in the water. So I'm going to assume that this means don't swim beyond the buoys. So here, once again, we use the prefix za, because in this case, za means to go beyond or behind something. So here, in this case, they're saying do not swim beyond the buoys, I guess because there are sharks or whatever, it's not safe to swim past the buoys. So, не заплывайте, do not swim beyond the buoys. Okay, он известный путешественник, он something весь свет. He is a famous traveler. He's something the entire light. Okay, I'll explain this in a second, but what's I'm going to assume again that the ob here is the correct prefix because again it's like he traveled around. It says he's a famous traveler. He traveled around I guess the whole world. So the word sviet actually means light in the sense of like light from the sun, sunlight, for example. And here, vis sviet means the entire light. I think this is sort of akin to the English phrase under the sun. You know how in English there's an expression saying everything under the sun, meaning everything, completely everything. So in Russian they say he traveled around the entire light, which is here, весь свет is a fixed phrase in Russian, which basically means everywhere, totally everywhere around the whole world, or on the world, or in the world. So он объехал весь свет, he traveled basically everywhere. Она something до работы за полчаса. She does something to work за полчаса in a half hour. So I guess the prefix do means to arrive at, like to reach a target travel destination. So she gets to work, she доезжает до работы, she gets to work, she arrives at work in a half hour. Цена этой картины на аукционе уже something до миллиона. Oh boy. So цена is price. And картины is a picture, or I guess in this case probably a painting, like an oil painting or something. Na auktione, auktion, you might guess is auction. That wasn't too difficult probably. Уже something до миллиона. So the price of this picture or painting at the auction already something to $1 million. So again, it kind of gives it away because they use do here. So it reached $1 million already. So you do something with do at the beginning, and the question is, there are three things here with do at the beginning. Which one is it? Do idiot is, I think it's past tense here. They're saying it has already reached $1 million. So probably use doshla, like perfective past. It already reached $1 million. It has already reached $1 million. I believe that's the correct answer here. Okay, ты не something до другого берега. Это очень далеко. So you not something to the other берега is like it's like the bank of a river. It's very far. So I guess they're saying you won't reach the other side of the river. It's very far. Well, that would then again be do, yeah. So you will not reach the other side. Question is, okay, it's ты, so it's going to be something with yesh on the end. So is it доплывешь or доплываешь? It is доплывешь. I think, what's the difference? I think one of these is perfective and one's imperfective, so I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that, but I'm pretty sure it's доплывешь. Okay, 20. Редкая птица сможет something до средины Днепра. Редкая, rarely, or I guess rare, in this case, rare. Птица is bird, so редкая птица, rare bird, сможет, can, something до середины Днепра, to the middle of the Dnieper. The Dnieper is the main river of Ukraine. It's the river that flows through Kiev. So I guess a rare bird can reach the center of the Dnieper because the Dnieper is very wide. So once again, it's do to reach a point, and the question is it perfective or imperfective? Here it is dolietet. Is that perfective or imperfective? I always mix them up. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's the correct answer in any case. Okay. Когда Мартин something до офиса, он вспомнил, что сегодня выходной. So when Martin something to the office, he remembered that today is a holiday. So again, I guess we would use a do thing. He got to the office. So I think the word here is doyachal. Yeah, because dochal would be he walked to the office, and yechal would be multi-directional. So yeah, he got to the office and remembered it was a holiday. Гости уже something на праздник. So the guests already something for holiday. So what did they do for a holiday? Here we need to remember the prefix s. So verbs with s at the beginning indicate a coming together or a gathering together of people. The question is, did they съехались or did they съезжались? Съехались, I believe, because they did it just once as a one-time thing. Все гости something и стало пусто. All the guests something and it became empty. So here it's the opposite. So just as s indicates a coming together, people coming together to congregate together, the opposite is raz, which means when people part or disperse and spread in different directions. So is it разъехались or разъезжались? It is разъехались, of course, single directional, I believe. Все говорят, что мои родители something характерами. Here we have a special case of the s prefix. Hold on, what's the right answer here? It's socialise. So everyone says that my parents have agreeable characters or agreed on the characters. Here, s means not to come physically together, like to gather together physically, but to agree. So it's kind of metaphorically to come together in the sense that they agreed with each other. So yeah, they agreed, and therefore it's socialise. They agreed, basically, or came to an agreement. Владимир something со своей второй женой месяц назад. So again, coming apart. This is about Vladimir breaking up with his second wife. So again, the prefix raz or ras both mean basically to for people to separate from one another. But that doesn't really help us much because all four of the options here have that at the beginning. So what's the right answer here? Разучился, I believe. I believe it's this one. Yeah, so Vladimir separated from his second wife a month ago. Okay. Бандиты увидели милиционера и something в разные стороны. So the bandits caught sight of the policeman and dispersed in different directions. So again, we have raz to indicate people dispersing, separating from each other, and dispersing in different directions. But again, all these verbs have raz at the beginning. So which one is the correct one? This is разбежались. Yeah, it's разбежались. They ran away. Obviously, they didn't fly apart, which would be this one, or swim apart, and they didn't walk apart, they ran apart. So it's бежались. Внимание! Поезд something от вокзала через 5 минут. So attention, the train does something away from the train station in 5 minutes. So yeah, this one is a bit difficult because Russian has so many prefixes meaning to leave. So uходить means to leave. You might think that it's u because u means to leave something, like to leave the train station. Or you might also think it's po because po means to begin motion, like to begin the travel, but there is no word beginning here with po. Выходить would almost make sense, except that means to walk out, and obviously the train doesn't walk out, it drives out. So the only one that actually makes sense here is sorry, no, I'm an idiot. Выходить does not mean to walk out. That also means to drive out. But in this case, they're saying not that it drives out of the station, but that it departs from the station, and so for that reason it's отходит. The point is not that the train is going out of the station, but that it's departing the station, and therefore it's от. Туристы something к музею и сфотографировались рядом с ним. So here we need to remember the prefix pod, meaning to walk up to something, like to approach. Pod here means to approach something or someone, or to walk up to something or someone. So the tourists, podошли, they walked up to the museum and began taking photographs near it or next to it. Next to him, actually, because museum is I guess masculine. Okay, солнце something из-за туч. So the sun something from behind a cloud. So the sun came out from behind the cloud. So here it's вы to come out of something. So here you actually say the sun came out from behind the cloud. So солнце вышло из-за туч. Sun came out from behind a cloud. And the last one, она навсегда something в другую страну. So she forever, навсегда, for always or forever, something into another country. So here, I believe the correct answer is u. The point is that she left. So she forever left or permanently left to another country. So it's уехала. And there we go. That was all that she wrote for this test. So let's go ahead and I'll just quickly scroll through the answers so that you can see the answers here. I think most of these make sense. A couple of these are still a bit confusing to me, but if you can understand 80 or 90% of this, I think that you are doing pretty well. So that was test 8, the test for lessons 36 through 40. And next time, of course, we will begin on lesson 41. I hope that you'll join me then, folks. Hopefully it will be a nice break from, once again, from all these prefixes for verbs of motion. So I will see you folks then. Ta-ta for now. Пока-пока.